My girlfriend asked me to pick her up from the airport after her work trip. When I arrived, I saw her kissing some guy at baggage claim. She didn't see me, so I just left. 2 hours later, she called screaming about how I abandoned her. I told her to call her boyfriend for a ride, then I hung up. The next morning, her company called asking why she filed fraudulent expense reports. I'm Jake, 31 years old, and I work as a financial analyst for a mid-sized consulting firm in Seattle. Not the most exciting job, but it pays well and keeps me busy. My girlfriend Sarah, 29, worked in sales for a tech startup. One of those companies that burns through investor money while claiming they're disrupting some industry nobody asked to be disrupted. We'd been together for 3 years. Living together for the past year and a half in a decent 2-bedroom apartment in Capitol Hill. Split rent evenly, shared expenses like adults, had our routines down. Sunday morning coffee runs, Thursday night dinners at our favorite Thai place, the whole domestic partnership thing. Sarah traveled a lot for work. Client meetings, conferences, sales pitches across the country. I never minded. Trusted her completely. She'd text me updates, complain about airport food, send photos of terrible hotel art. Normal relationship stuff when one person travels for work. 3 months ago, the trips started getting more frequent. She'd be gone 4 or 5 days at a time, sometimes twice a month. Always had explanations. Big client in Austin, conference in Denver, training session in Chicago. Her company was expanding aggressively, she said. Lots of new accounts to manage. I noticed small changes. She'd come back from trips exhausted but also energized in this weird way. More time on her phone. More careful about leaving it face down. New clothes showing up that she claimed were for client meetings. Professional wardrobe upgrade, she called it. My buddy Marcus from college came to visit last month. We grabbed beers at a sports bar downtown, catching up on life. He asked about Sarah, and I mentioned all the traveling. He got this look on his face. That look friends get when they know something but don't want to be the one to say it. What? I asked. Nothing, man. Just, you ever check her travel schedule against her expense reports? Why would I do that? He shrugged. I work in corporate finance. You'd be amazed what people claim as business expenses. Hotels, dinners, flights. Sometimes the dates don't match up with actual company travel. That conversation stuck with me like a splinter. I tried ignoring it, told myself I was being paranoid. But it kept nagging. So I did something I'm not proud of. I logged into our shared laptop, the one we both used for random stuff, and checked her email. Sarah wasn't careful about logging out. Her work email was right there. I told myself I'd just glance, confirm everything was normal, then feel guilty about invading her privacy and never do it again. I found the Austin trip from 2 weeks ago. Opened her travel confirmation. She'd told me she was flying out Monday morning, coming back Thursday night. The email showed a Friday return. That was weird but not damning. Plans change, meetings run long, whatever. Then I found a hotel confirmation. Not the corporate business hotel near the client's office that she'd mentioned. A boutique hotel downtown. King bed suite. 2 nights. That made my stomach twist. I kept digging. Found another trip from last month. Boston, she'd said. The emails showed flights to Miami. Different hotel. Same pattern. My hands were shaking. I wanted to stop looking but couldn't. Opened her personal email. Found a message thread with someone named Tyler. Subject line was just a heart emoji. I opened it. The emails weren't explicit but they were clear enough. Miss you already. Can't wait for Denver. Last night was incredible. The timestamps matched her supposed work trips perfectly. I sat there staring at the screen for probably 20 minutes. Not angry yet, just numb. Processing. 3 years together and she'd been running around the country with some guy, probably for months, using company money to fund her affair while I paid half our rent and waited at home like an idiot. That's when the anger hit. Not hot rage, but cold calculation. I copied every email. Every hotel confirmation. Every flight receipt. Saved them all to a private folder in my cloud storage. Then I cleared the browser history and closed the laptop like nothing happened. Sarah was due back from San Francisco that Wednesday. I spent those 2 days planning. Didn't confront her over the phone. Didn't give any indication I knew anything. Just texted normal stuff about hoping her meetings went well and asking what she wanted for dinner when she got home. Tuesday night, my buddy Marcus called to check in. I told him what I found. He went quiet for a minute, then said exactly what I needed to hear. Document everything. Don't blow up yet. Get copies of those expense reports if you can. If she's using company funds for personal travel with her boyfriend, that's fraud. The company will want to know. How do I get her expense reports? Does she have them saved anywhere? Probably on the laptop. There you go. And Jake? I'm sorry, man. This is brutal. Wednesday came. Sarah's flight landed at 6. She texted asking if I could pick her up at 7 when she got her bags. I said sure, no problem. I got to the airport at 6:45. Parked in the cell phone lot and waited. Texted her at 6:55 that I was pulling up to arrivals. She said she was almost to baggage claim. I drove over, found a spot with a clear view of the baggage claim doors, and waited. Watched people streaming out with their rolling suitcases, reuniting with families, climbing into Ubers. Then I saw her. Sarah walked out in her business casual outfit, pulling her black carry-on. And right next to her, holding her other bag, was a guy I'd never seen before. Tall, probably early 30s, wearing expensive-looking casual clothes. They stopped just outside the doors. She turned to face him. He set her bag down. And then she kissed him. Not a quick goodbye peck. A full kiss, his hand on her waist, her hand on his chest. 5 seconds. Maybe 10. Right there in public at SeaTac Airport like they had nothing to hide. I sat in my car 30 feet away and watched the woman I'd been planning a future with kiss another man after lying to me about a work trip. Something shifted in my brain. The anger evaporated. All that was left was clarity. I put the car in drive and left. My phone started ringing at 7:15. Sarah. I didn't answer. It rang 4 more times over the next 30 minutes. Then the text started. Where are you? I'm at baggage claim. Jake? My bags came out. Are you here? This isn't funny. Where did you go? I'm calling an Uber. I can't believe you just abandoned me. Then she actually called again. I answered this time. Where the hell are you? She was furious. I've been standing here for 40 minutes. I saw you. Saw me what? With Tyler. At baggage claim. Kissing him. Silence. Then she tried recovering. What are you talking about? There's no Tyler. You're being crazy. Call Tyler for a ride home. I'm sure he'd be happy to help. I hung up. Blocked her number. Then I drove to our apartment, packed everything I actually cared about into my car, and checked into a hotel for the night. Thursday morning, I took a sick day. Went back to the apartment while Sarah was at work and grabbed the rest of my important documents, some more clothes, my gaming console. Left everything else. Wasn't worth the hassle. Then I did what Marcus suggested. Logged into the laptop one more time and found Sarah's expense report folder. Exported everything from the last 6 months. Hotel stays, flights, meals, rental cars. Cross-referenced them with her emails. The pattern was obvious. Half her trips were personal, not business, but she'd submitted them all for reimbursement. Austin trip with Tyler? Company paid for the hotel. Miami? Company paid for the flights. San Francisco? That one was actually legitimate, but she'd added extra hotel nights that overlapped with Tyler's visit and claimed them as business expenses. I compiled everything into a single document. Timeline of trips, email evidence, expense reports showing the fraud. Made it clean and professional. Then I found the contact information for her company's HR director and CFO on their website. Friday morning, I sent the email. Subject line, fraudulent expense reporting by Sarah Mitchell. Attached my documentation. Kept the message brief and factual. No emotional rants, no accusations of affair stuff. Just the numbers and the proof that company money had been used for personal travel. I stated that as a concerned party with knowledge of these activities, I felt obligated to bring them to the company's attention. I included my contact information if they needed clarification. Then I went to work and tried to focus on actual projects. Sarah started calling from different numbers that afternoon. I blocked her main line, so she borrowed phones from coworkers, probably. Let them all go to voicemail. Finally listened to one. Jake, we need to talk. Please. I know you're angry but just talk to me. This is insane. You can't just disappear and ignore me. We live together. We have a life together. Call me back. I deleted it without responding. Saturday, I met with an attorney. Young guy who specialized in tenancy law. Explained the situation. Living together but not married, both on the lease, I wanted out clean. He reviewed our lease agreement. We were month to month at that point, original year had ended. I could technically just give 30 days notice and leave. But that would still tie me financially to the apartment for another month. Unless she agrees to let you off the lease early, he said. Get it in writing. Offer to forfeit your deposit or something if it helps. What about my stuff still there? Legally half of any shared purchases. But honestly? Unless it's valuable or sentimental, probably easier to just walk away. Document what you're taking, photograph everything, cover yourself in case she tries claiming you stole something. I paid his consultation fee and left with a plan. Sunday afternoon, Sarah showed up at my hotel. No idea how she found me, probably called around until she found where I was staying. The front desk called my room saying someone was in the lobby asking for me. I went down. She was sitting in the lobby chairs, looking exhausted. Eyes red, hair pulled back, wearing sweatpants. This was not the polished sales professional I'd known. We need to talk, she said when she saw me. We don't, actually. Jake, please. Just 5 minutes. I sat down in a chair across from her, not next to her. Arms crossed. She noticed. This is all a misunderstanding. Tyler is a coworker. We were on the same trip. That kiss was just goodbye. We're friends. Sarah, I read the emails. I know about Austin, Miami, Boston, that was actually Miami, Denver, all of it. Don't insult me by lying more. Her face crumpled. Okay. Yes. I messed up. I made a huge mistake. But it's over now. I ended things with him. I want to fix this with you. You submitted fraudulent expense reports to your company. Used their money to fund your affair. She went white. What did you do? I sent everything to your HR department and CFO. They should have it by now. You did what? She stood up, voice rising. You sent private information to my employer? Do you have any idea what you've done? You committed fraud. I documented it. What they do with that information is their business. You're trying to ruin my life because you're hurt. This is vindictive and cruel. I stood up. No, I'm just done being lied to and funding your double life. You ruined your own life. I just stopped participating in the cover-up. I walked back to the elevator. She didn't follow. Monday morning, I called our landlord. Explained that I needed to break the lease early due to a relationship ending. Offered to forfeit my half of the deposit and pay 1 additional month's rent to make it easy for them. The landlord was surprisingly understanding. Said as long as Sarah could prove she could afford the rent solo or found a roommate, they'd let me off the lease within 2 weeks. I emailed Sarah the proposal through my attorney. She had 72 hours to accept or I'd write out the 30 days and make everything as difficult as possible. She accepted within 24 hours. Tuesday afternoon, I got a call from an unknown number. Answered out of curiosity. Is this Jake Morrison? Yes. This is David Chen from Innovate Tech Solutions. I'm the CFO. I wanted to follow up on the information you sent us regarding Sarah Mitchell. Of course. Happy to clarify anything you need. We've completed a preliminary investigation. The evidence you provided was extremely thorough. I want you to know we take these matters very seriously. We'll be handling this internally, but I wanted to thank you for bringing it to our attention. Is there anything else you need from me? Not at this time. We have everything we need. And Mr. Morrison? I'm sorry you had to be involved in this situation. The company fired Sarah on Thursday. I know because she showed up at my office that evening, screaming in the parking lot about how I destroyed her career. Security had to escort her away. My boss asked if I needed to file a police report. I said I'd handle it. Sent one final text from a coworker's phone so she'd see it. Contact me again and I'm filing for a restraining order. This is your only warning. She didn't contact me again. The next few weeks were busy. Moved my stuff out of the apartment, found a new place closer to work, a 1-bedroom that was just mine. Smaller, quieter, no ghosts of a failed relationship in every corner. My friend Marcus checked in regularly. Came over to help me set up furniture, brought pizza, acted like a normal friend instead of treating me like I was broken. You doing okay? He asked one night while we were building my new bed frame. Yeah, actually. I feel better than I have in months. No regrets about the company thing? None. She committed fraud. Used their money to cheat on me. They deserve to know. Marcus nodded. Fair enough. And hey, you dodged a serious bullet. Imagine if you'd married her or had kids. He was right. 3 years felt like a lot of time wasted, but it could have been so much worse. I ran into Tyler about a month later. Pure coincidence at a coffee shop downtown. He was in line ahead of me, didn't notice me until I said his name. Tyler? He turned, confused. Then recognition hit and his face went through several emotions very quickly. You're Jake. Yep. Look, man, I didn't know about you at first. Sarah told me you two were done months before we started anything. That's interesting because we were living together and splitting rent the entire time you two were together. He looked genuinely shocked. Then angry. She said you were roommates. That it was complicated but over. Sounds like she lied to both of us. He ran his hand through his hair, looking stressed. I ended things when all that work stuff came out. I'm not trying to date someone who commits fraud and lies about everything. Smart move. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. I wouldn't have gotten involved if I'd known the real situation. I believed him. He seemed genuinely blindsided. Sarah had played us both, just in different ways. We got our coffees and went separate directions. I never saw him again. 3 months after everything blew up, I was doing great. Better than great, actually. The stress I'd been carrying without realizing it was gone. I was sleeping better, working out more, actually enjoying my life again. Met someone new. Emma, a project manager at a different firm. We matched on a dating app, got coffee, had an actual conversation about expectations and honesty and what we both wanted. She'd been through her own bad breakup recently. We understood each other. Nothing serious yet, just taking it slow and seeing where things went. But it felt healthy. Clean. No lies, no games, no secret other life. I heard through mutual friends that Sarah had moved back home with her parents. Couldn't find another job in her field after being fired for fraud. Was working retail while trying to rebuild her career. Tyler had apparently moved to California for a fresh start. I didn't feel bad for either of them. Actions have consequences. They both made choices. Those choices caught up with them. One Saturday evening, I was at my apartment with Emma. We were cooking dinner together, some pasta recipe she wanted to try. Music playing, wine breathing, windows open to let in the cool spring air. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost ignored it but answered anyway. Jake? It was Sarah's voice, tentative and small. I put the phone on speaker. Emma looked up from chopping vegetables, raising an eyebrow. Sarah, why are you calling? I wanted to apologize. Really apologize. For everything. What I did was terrible. You didn't deserve any of it. Okay. Apology noted. I'm in therapy now. Working on myself. Understanding why I made those choices. I just wanted you to know that I recognize how badly I hurt you. I appreciate you saying that. Is there anything else? No. Just that. I hope you're doing well. I am. Take care, Sarah. I hung up. Emma was watching me carefully, trying to gauge my reaction. Ex-girlfriend? She asked. Yeah. The one I told you about. How do you feel? I thought about it for a moment. Nothing, really. Maybe a little sad that it went the way it did, but mostly just glad it's over. Emma smiled. Good answer. We went back to cooking dinner. My phone stayed silent. Sarah didn't call again. 6 months after the breakup, I got a promotion at work. Senior analyst position, significant raise, more interesting projects. My boss mentioned during the review that my work quality had noticeably improved over the past few months. More focused, more thorough, better attitude. I knew why. I wasn't carrying the weight of a failing relationship anymore. Wasn't lying to myself about red flags. Wasn't splitting my energy between work and managing someone else's chaos. Emma and I made things official. Moved in together after 8 months of dating, but this time everything was different. We talked about finances openly. Split expenses fairly. Trusted each other. No secrets, no lies, no hidden phones or mysterious trips. I never told Emma the full extent of what I did to Sarah. The expense report thing, the documentation, all of it. Just said the relationship ended because of cheating and we both moved on. Emma didn't need those details. That was old life, dealt with and finished. Sometimes I'd think about that moment at the airport. Watching Sarah kiss Tyler, having that cold clarity wash over me. The decision to just leave instead of confronting them right there. That single choice led to everything else. If I'd confronted her at the airport, we probably would have fought. She would have cried, made promises, begged for another chance. I might have been stupid enough to believe her. We might have limped along for months or years, me never fully trusting her, her probably still seeing Tyler or someone else. Instead, I walked away clean. Documented everything. Let her face consequences for her own actions. Moved on with my life without looking back. A year after everything happened, I was at a work happy hour. One of my colleagues, Jennifer, was talking about her recent divorce. Messy, painful, lots of money spent on lawyers. How did you get over your ex so fast? She asked me. I remember you mentioned a bad breakup last year, but you seem completely fine now. I thought about it. Took a sip of my beer. I stopped waiting for an apology or closure or some big moment of understanding. I just accepted that it was over, dealt with the practical stuff, and moved forward. Spent my energy on building something new instead of trying to fix something broken. That's very mature, she said. Maybe. Or maybe I just got lucky that anger turned into clarity instead of bitterness. Jennifer nodded thoughtfully. I need to work on that. Emma appeared next to me, handing me a fresh drink. Ready to go? Yeah, let's head out. We said our goodbyes and left. Walking to the car, Emma took my hand. You know what I love about you? She asked. What? You don't have baggage. You dealt with your past instead of dragging it around. I do have baggage. I just unpacked it instead of living out of the suitcase. She laughed. That's a terrible metaphor. It really is. We drove home to our apartment. Not the one I'd shared with Sarah. Not the hotel I'd hidden in. Not the temporary place I'd found afterward. Home. A place Emma and I had chosen together, where both our names were on the lease, where we built our life. That's the thing about betrayal. It either destroys you or teaches you what you won't tolerate anymore. Sarah taught me to trust my instincts, to act decisively when something's wrong, and to never settle for less than I deserve. The cheating hurt. The lies hurt. But the aftermath? That made me stronger. More careful about who I let close. More aware of red flags. More willing to walk away when necessary. I don't know what happened to Sarah after that last phone call. Don't care to know. Tyler was a nonentity in my life. They both made their choices and faced their consequences. My only job was to move forward. And I did. Better job, better relationship, better life. Not because I got revenge or made them suffer, but because I refused to let their betrayal define my future. Sometimes the best revenge is just building a life so good that the people who wronged you become irrelevant. A footnote in your story, not a chapter. That's where Sarah ended up for me. A cautionary tale I occasionally referenced, a bad memory that faded over time, eventually just another experience that shaped who I became. And who I became was someone who didn't waste time on people who didn't respect me. Someone who acted with cold calculation when betrayed instead of hot emotion. Someone who documented evidence and let consequences play out naturally. Emma never knew the full story. Didn't need to. She got the version of me that came after. The one who'd learned the lessons and moved on. That was enough.